So, I've been playing Cross Blitz. I put in 50 hours. I don't regret that. I don't. I think this game is pretty much perfect for where it is early in its development stage, because it's an early access, by the way. And to be honest, it's quite good of a game. Now, I know it's a card game, right? It's a roguelike based card game with a pirate theme. Damn, this game plays good, looks good, and for the most part, it sounds fantastic. Sadly, for 50 hours in this game, I don't have much to say. Not because I didn't play it or I didn't enjoy what I experienced going through this game. It's just that this is so early in its development and there's so much yet to be in this game that I fell in love with what we got here and I played it for 50 hours. Right? I'm gonna stop now, though I still haven't beat the second story, the Blitz story, but I'm gonna stop here for now, just so I can wait for more stuff to be added into the game. So let me just tell you what you get if you decide to get this game today. Let me just tell you what you get. You get two modes. Favors, which is the story, right? You only have 2 characters so far. Each one has 3 chapters, and from there on out, you start weak, you get strong, and then the enemies and the bosses have the cheapest deck, so you just have to hope for the harder cards. Literally, that was me hoping for harder card against this sea dragon. Oh, this hydra, whatever. I hate this thing. First and foremost, let me just break it down. In the story mode, you start bare bones nothing and you have a certain amount of money you can make per round. Now, every round has objective. By rounds, I mean stages or enemies you fight. And each of the objectives, once cleared, can give you bonus cash. Just for the first time, that's it. You can't do it again and you can't farm this game like that. One thing that's really good about this is that it gets you to play it in different manners. So if it says, hey, use cannons to do damage, I have to switch to my cannon deck. Or win under a certain amount of turns. Usually it'll be 7 turns or something like that. This story mode is a bit more difficult than the roguelike, and I'm going to get into it why in a bit, but just note that you're going to start with nothing and you're going to have to climb your way to make something half-baked decent to get through it. You could become really OP if you know what you're doing, what cards to buy, what relics, which relics are strong if you get the good ones. They're really strong if you know what you're doing, and it really synergize well with some decks, and they don't synergize well with other decks. So pay attention what you're doing when it comes to the relics and the relics you equip. But you start from nothing, and you literally have to painstakingly make your way to something. Now, if this is going to be your first card game, yes, this is going to hurt. Especially their decks, their cards, whatever, their playstyle you want to say it, whatever you want to call it, are going to be specifically designed to just give you a hard time. Now the game tries to soften that out by giving you levels, and you do level up, you increase your match HP, you unlock better cards for said deck, right? So let's take the line. We have 4 different play styles, right? And each one has a certain amount of cards, and they even have their own specials. Each special has its own conditions that must be met before use, and honestly this is quite good. This is great. I love it. One thing I really like about Fable mode, that didn't need to be there, but it is that you can have points of interest when you talk with your crewmates. This does a lot to flesh out the story, the characters you're supposed to be playing as, or better said, the characters in your crew, and their faction, or how they see each other. This is pretty good. It didn't need to be in the game. It really didn't, but I'm happy that it is. All the little things do add up. Next, we're talking about the roguelike mode, which is called Tusk Tales, and I don't know why, but it don't matter. This is where all the meat and potatoes of the game goes, and I think this is where you need to play for a while before you tackle the Fable, right, the story mode. I believe this is a better job of teaching you the game, plus having the tutorial cat does go a long way when explaining the game to you, but to be honest, this is where all the meat and potatoes, like I said before, is in the game. First and foremost, it's a roguelike, right? Think of, well, Slay the Spire. You see this map? Pick your path, go. Obviously, different markers mean different things. Some of them are shops, some of them are point of interest, some of them are events, and some of them are stronger enemies, plus the mid boss and the boss. Perfect. This roguelike mode is a lot easier than the story mode for two reasons, by the way. Let me break it down to you. So you start the roguelike mode, right? You start the game, you pick a side, left or right, it don't matter. You go, you hit your initial first fight, you complete it, and then you get to pick your companion. This companion matters a lot, and if you pick the right companion that synergizes with your current loadout, the base deck that you have, it goes a long way in making you stronger than you need to be. For this fact alone, I always pick the Mushroom Pirates or the Cannoneer Mustache Boy. They're just strong and they can take care of themselves while helping you. Or if you have the Toad, right, the Captain Toad, it synergizes perfect with him. Now, that's one way to get really strong or at least have a leg up in the game. A second one would be on the relics you find and how you buff your cards. Breaking down, the relics you find do a lot. I will explain how they affect in the story mode. You can buy a lot of them and you can put them out in loadouts. When you're doing the roguelike mode, you can only equip 4 and they each cost 100, but you don't have the kind of money like you do in the main story. That being said, make sure you pick the ones that are for your faction, to pick the ones that help you. Join 2 extra cards in the first turn. Sounds like a good idea most of the time. And if you're not repping a pirate crew, make it so all the pirates cost 1 more is a godsend for the rest of your game. What really makes that broken is if you make your base cards super strong. Let me explain. Just look at the screen. I have this. And it's a 1-cost unit that has tough. Because he's tough. He has Thorn plus 1 attack and plus 1 HP. So now he's 2/2 plus tough plus thorns, and he cost me 1. I can do that, and if you know exactly what you're doing and who to buff, all your early game cards are gonna be, all your low cost cards are just gonna be strong. This is my best card combination I've ever made so far. I wasn't recording, so I had to take a picture. This is amazing, right? And this is what makes the Tusk Tales a lot easier, because if I'm losing, I can just leave and come back and try another way and try again, right? I already have that mentality that if I lose, move on to the next one. When it comes to the main story, I have to sit there in theory craft of a way to beat this game or beat this goddamn Hydra, which I did. I hate him, but I did. Now, win or lose, depending on how far you get currency for the roguelike that help you unlock characters, buff your characters, just level them up when you give them more HP or unlock more cards and their specials. So the roguelike mode does a good job in teaching you the game, essentially. What I would suggest, personally, since there's a lot more pirates in the game right now than there are any other faction, especially in the roguelike mode, I would suggest that you take Captain Toad over here and use him to unlock all what you need for the rest of the characters, right? Make them as strong as possible. That's what I did. Each of them are basically maxed at this point, and I'm just gonna stomp through the game. Now, what I'm doing in the roguelike mode is just unlocking the rest of the areas and the rest of by beating it with the certain faction I need to use. That's what I'm doing right now in the roguelike mode. But yeah, that's a review. This is the early access review. It is worth your money. I'm not gonna rate this. It's too early, but no, I got 50 hours out of this game. And I'm not done with it. I can still do more. So please, by all means, if you're interested in this, buy it and come back to it every few months and just play it. It's a good game. If you want to wait for the full release, that might take a couple years, maybe 1, maybe 2, who knows. It will be worth the wait. Everything that I'm saying here is glowing professionality. One complaint I have for this game is something that will be addressed later down the line with the roadmap, is that we don't got enough factions when it comes to the roguelike. So if I go with my favorite faction is the fighting blue people, right? The Kraken lady. I don't have another faction that can bounce off her Pacific Brawler type units. Which is why I recommend you stick with the pirates, because pirates hook each other up. That's all I'm saying. Either way, this has been Definitely Not Bots. Buy this game, play it, forget about it, come back and play it. It is worth your cash. It is deep. It goes hard. A lot harder than it needs to for an early access game. This is too much content for an early access game. But it just shows you that the developers know what they're doing. The developers have an passion for what's going on. The game looks great. The game sounds great. I believe you should try if you really are interested in car games. And yeah, no, I can't wait for the next update. This is all praise. It's a glowing recommendation, 100% worth it. And that's the video. Yeah, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give me a thumbs down. But whatever you do, make sure you have a good day on purpose. And I'll catch you on the next one.